Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos, and today I'm at South Mountain State Park here in western North Carolina. And I've got to give a big shout out and thank you to my buddy Max, WG4Z, who you probably saw in a previous video. He told me about this access point. Thing is, don't ever think that there's only one entrance to a park. A lot of larger state parks and especially national parks have multiple access points and are access areas to park and to take in trails and scenery and that sort of thing. I did not know about this one. At least I hadn't explored it yet on the maps. And it's a really nice one. Basically, you can see my car parked over there. There's a little gate. I walked up here, and there's one older picnic table here. And but it's underneath some gigantic old trees. And super easy place to set up an antenna. I mean, it's just effortless. Absolutely effortless. There's so many branches that they can hook. And wow. I see a hawk flying overhead, and yeah, it's really nice out here. You could put up a gigantic wire antenna if you wanted to at this particular access point. It's also very quiet. There's only one other car parked out here. There are a couple people that are on a hike here right now, but that's about it. So I've kind of got the place to myself, at least for now. And so yeah, if you go out to a park, like South Mountains is a prime example. On busy days, their main entrance that place can get really packed full of people, and it's a little harder to find a place to set up and that sort of thing. Max and I set up at the equestrian area, which is sort of at the far opposite end of the park from here. We're at the extreme sort of, I think it would be like the northwest corner of the park, very close to the game lands. The South Mountain game lands are just adjoining here as well, because I've activated the game lands not too far from here. But you know, on a busy day, you can go to one of these other access points and find that there's, that's wide open, and you can play radio all you want to. Max also said it's a great place to make videos and to take photos because it's so pretty, and he's right. There's a lake up here, and I'll try to walk around, take some photos here as I after I finish my activation. But since this is a new access point to me, I decided to pull out a new to me radio today. This is my Ten-Tec Argonaut V. And if you're not familiar with this radio, probably if you've been in QRP for very long, you're very familiar with the Argonaut name. Ten-Tec is a company, used to be based in Sevierville, Tennessee. I was very fond of them, knew most of the people that worked there, at least in the front office and stuff. Their past presidents and that sort of thing. They were a great company, and I used to do a little bit of beta testing for them and evaluations of, I probably did 3 or 4 different transceivers for them over the years, and really enjoyed doing it. In fact, I beta tested the Argonaut model that came after this, the Argonaut 6. Did not beta test the Argonaut 5. But Ten-Tec was an amazing company. They're still around under a completely different ownership. They're not manufacturing like they used to. I'm not even sure if they're doing limited manufacturing runs right now. I have no idea. Anyway, I guess I bought this radio because I just wanted to have a Ten-Tec radio in my shack. And this is a radio I plan to take to the field, of course, but not as often as I'll use it in my shack. In my shack, I primarily use the Mission RG01. And that's one of the reasons you don't see it in too many videos, is because I tend to use it in the shack. But it's a very capable field radio because it's pretty efficient for use in the field, and it's got wonderful QSK and a lot of other great features and attributes. I also have my KX3 in the shack. I do pull that out and take it to the field as well. And now the Argonaut 5, which will probably live in the shack more than the others, mainly because for a QRP radio, and this is the reason I didn't purchase it when it was first introduced, I think around 2002 or so, is that it draws almost an amp on receive. So you need a bigger battery for this radio to run it for a longer period of time. And I don't think it's as flexible with the voltage. It's not like a lot of other QRP radios that you can, run it from anywhere from 15 volts down to 9 or something. This one will not do that. If it drops too low, it'll just shut off. And So actually, I've never taken it to the field before, and I thought, well, you know, I'll just bring a big battery, and if it starts to shut down or something from voltage, then I've got a KX2 in my pack, and I've got the TX500, so I'm fine. I can keep on running. But why did I get the Argonaut V? Well, besides just having a piece of Ten-Tec gear in the shack, there's one thing I really love about this radio, and that is its display. I love the LED numeric display on this radio, and the look and feel of the radio. It is dead simple. This radio has no features that I like to see on field radios, like voice memory keying or CW memory keying. Doesn't have any of those things. It doesn't have a separate RF gain control, which people criticized it for, but it's got a pretty nice balance. AGC and everything works really well on it. It's got great audio. Ten-Tec has had amazing audio, right there with, like, say, Kenwood, who I consider to be another one of the manufacturers that really focuses on audio. So one of the reasons why it requires an amp while it's running is there's an audio amplification chain in there it's taken care of. This radio goes anywhere from, I guess, I don't know if it goes down to 0 watts, but let's say 0 to 20 watts. I think 20 watts output power is maybe its top. I will be running it today at 5 watts, of course. What else? But it's just dead simple. It's so easy to use. It has a variable filter that you can change here by pressing this button and moving it. Another reason I wanted it, to be honest, is because I'm a fan of Ten-Tec radios for listening to shortwave radio, and this is a general coverage. It has a general coverage receiver in it. The Argonaut 6 did not, and that's probably one of the only reasons why I didn't buy the Argonaut 6 after I beta tested it, because beta testers typically will be given an option to purchase the radio after they've done a test if the manufacturer doesn't want it to come back for more updates, which they needed to do. Actually, they needed to do I think like one hardware update and some firmware updates after the beta testers had a hold of the radio. And I could have gotten it for a little bit of a deal. Basically, they kind of give you a price like an open box price for it, because that's what they'd have to sell it for after it's been used. And I could kick myself now for not doing it, because the Ten-Tec Argonaut 6 had some amazing qualities in terms of its receiver was amazing in that thing. It sounded great. But I've been very pleased with the Argonaut 5, and what I really love about it, since it's general coverage, is you can do well, let me see, do I have any other frequencies saved in here? I've got to remember. I don't think I have any in here, but to demo right now, and I don't want to move my frequency too far off, but basically it's a great shortwave radio broadcast receiver as well. The AM bandwidth will widen up to 6 kilohertz, which I consider to be a pretty good place for listening to shortwave radio from a transceiver. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to keep it in the shack. It'll always be hooked up to an antenna, so I can just do some very casual shortwave radio listening. This display, being so simple, is actually super easy to read in the field at pretty much any kind of lighting. If the sun's even directly on it, you can still see it. But yeah, it has especially at nighttime with this display lit, and I'm getting kind of nostalgic here, but as my buddy Eric, WD8RIF, said, it has kind of an Apollo quality to it, and it really does, like an Apollo era quality, like the disky display, to have these, just, how many other radios do you know have these LED numerical digits? Not too many. My Omni 6 Plus, which I owned for many years, had a really wonderful display like this. It's much bigger even, and that's one of the things I loved about that radio. I loved everything about the Omni 6 Plus, if you want to know the truth. The only reason I sold that radio maybe 10 years ago now was because when I moved into our new house that I built, my Radio Shack is small, and the Omni 6 Plus just took up too much real estate along with its power supply speaker. It just took up too much real estate in my shack that I needed, because I do a lot of radio reviews, so I have to keep a pretty big place cleared off specifically to bring radios in, test them, and send them back out. I just didn't have room for it. So I sold it. And at the time, I think I had the Elecraft K2 100. I had an Elecraft KX3 very shortly after that. And I just felt like it was in excess to my needs. But now I saw this one on QTH.com in the classifieds, and I just couldn't help but buy it. I think I paid, was it $500 for this shipped? And it came with a big Shure mic that sounds great with it. I did not bring the mic today, so I won't be doing single sideband. And I've just been playing with it in the shack. Like I said, it's very simple, so I will be doing all the keying manually with electric keyer, in this. And one of the things I love about Ten-Tec radios is their QSK is just silky smooth and beautiful. They really put a focus on CW operation with their radios, and that's one of the things I love about the Argonaut V. Mine, by the way, is a TXCO version, so it's probably a little bit later model of the Argonaut V. There's already one modification. I appreciate there's someone in the comments, and I don't have their call sign now, who had helped me out with this. There's a big old heat sink on the back, but also this fan module that I think someone installed. I'm not sure if this came with it or not for this particular model, but these two fans in the shack, I can hear them running. They're not annoying, but they run all the time. As soon as you turn on the radio, they're on. I am probably going to build a, oh look, a little inchworm. I'm probably going to build either an on and off switch that's manual or a temperature controlled switch in here to turn those fans on only when they're needed. I suspect running 5 watts and receiving a whole lot, that the heat sinks that are built into this are probably going to do a fine job as is. I'm not going to be running this at 20 watts typically, so yeah, that's one thing I plan to do. If you know anything about that, or if you know anyone who's done that same sort of mod, let me know. And I think we should get started here. Oh, by the way, the antenna. Yes, the antenna. So I decided to pull out a resonant antenna. This doesn't have a built-in ATU. I just thought I'd pull out a resonant antenna. So I pulled out the in-fed half-wave that I made by KM4ACK. It's a kit. This was in a previous video. So I've got this set up. I don't have a super long coaxial line. That's a little bit of oversight on my part. I would like to have a slightly longer one with an in-fed half-wave, simply because the shield's also being used as a part of the antenna system, but it works fine. I would have probably put in my 50-foot one and moved further away or something, but this has an SO239 on the back of the radio instead of BNC, and I just didn't have, most of my cables these days are BNC to BNC, or just I have the short one with a BNC connector on the end, an adapter at least. So it's going up in the tree here, almost straight up into that branch and over just a little bit. It is way up there. You can't tell, but I easily got that thing up there. It's probably, I don't know, maybe that's 45, 50 feet up there. I'm not sure exactly, but hopefully it'll work well. This is a good in-fed half-wave, so it should work out today. I have no clue what conditions are like today, so we'll just have to find out. Okay, let's set this thing up and get going. I don't have a ton of time to spend on this activation, because I do want to do a little hiking after this and kind of check out what's available here. And let's see here. I don't know if that's going to flicker or not. You know what? I think I'll do what I did last time and actually just put the camera here right up front. Here we go. Again, another professional camera job from K4SWL. So let's try this. Just listen to how beautiful that QSK is. That is incredible. Now this is telling me my watts of output power, and that's at 5 right now. Okay, I have to remember this is a single lever, not a dual paddle. That's to kind of wake up. I love that call sign. Did I get that right? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay, wait. There we go. Okay, I was going to try to call. Was that correct? Was that not correct? Okay, maybe I had that wrong. Okay. Okay, the AZZ. Just need to... There we go. Okay, I think that's... Yeah, K9IS. Good to get you in the logs there. I'm making a mess of my logs here. Okay. Okay. I think it's K3. Of course. Of course, sorry about that. Actually, he's around a 5.7. Okay, let's see. Okay, wait. Oh, wait. Good old Max. He's the guy that told me about this spot. Very good, Max. Excellent. This is a park to park too. Nice. He's in South Carolina. Whew, I messed that up, but he knows. I'm getting some Invis action off this. Oh wait, KB1. Yeah, got him. Oh, that's not KB1L. Got him. Okay. Okay. Got him. I cannot do it today. Some days you just can't key. It's not the radio's fault. It's not the key's fault. It is the operator. Okay, wait. Oh, there we go. Good to see you in here, Mike. Actually, you're much stronger than that. You're a 5'7". Actually, this is the key he sent me. Okay. Oh, there we go. It's a great call sign. There we go. Did I call him Bell instead of Bill? Sorry about that. I thought I heard him in there when I hear the LL. Man, I do love the sound of this radio, and the noise floor is very, very low on this. Feels like you're manually flying an airplane instead of using autopilot when you don't have memory key or... I should have brought my little small auto keyer with me. Now, the one thing about this is when you flip through the bands on the Argonaut 5, it just cycles through them like this. This is the only way to do it. And some people complain about that. I find it's not a big deal at all, actually. Now, we should be resonant here. If there's a way to do SWR on here, I don't know it, but I'm confident this is resonant on 20 meters. So I'm just not going to worry about it. Let's move this to the 20 meter band. Let's see, here we go, 14.061. If no one takes this before I hop on here. Can't think today. Whoops, I need to put this down here. I do love an analog dial too. This QSK is so smooth, you almost think it's not transmitting. You almost think it's not transmitting. I swear it. There's just something so appealing about a radio this simple, though. Let's see here. I don't have enough internet coverage to see if it's spotting me or not. There we go. He's really about a 559, but okay. I think I hear it. Got him. Okay. Okay, is it that? Oh, wait. Got him. Did I get his call wrong? This is what happens in real life, by the way. Oh, I'm in 6. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. That's what I had wrong. N6 PE. I can't believe I was doing that. My brain was switching 6 and 1. Ugh. I haven't been writing down times. Okay. Ooh. I mean, you honestly feel like the radio is not even transmitting because the QSK is so smooth. My hands are not working today, and there's no excuse for it. It's not cold. It's really nice today. It's a pretty day. I just don't know. You know what? Let's see. How long have we been going here? About 44 minutes, it looks like. I'll call one more time. Okay, nothing heard. We're just... Whoops. You heard me probably send thank you NY. I do that just on occasion. I started doing that, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, just because I was hearing it and I ended up started doing it. I like to do it when it's not too busy. If I've got a whole bunch of stations going, I'm probably not going to send that. But when I've got the time, I don't mind sending it. And especially if I get a state, let's just go ahead and turn this off now. Especially if I get a state like Montana is not a state that I get very often where parks on the air. I do get them a lot with SOTA when I'm doing summits on the air. I don't get Colorado a lot either. I'm continually impressed with in-fed half-wave antennas. I see why they're so popular in parks on the air and stuff. They're easy to deploy and they work really, really well. They're a great resonant antenna and they seem to be pretty forgiving. This one by KM4ACK, I really like it. It's a nice little kit. You ought to check out his website. I will provide a link in the description below. You can find a link to the field report for this particular activation. In that field report, I put a link to all the gear I use. And usually I link to either the site where you can buy it or I link to a review that I've done of it or something like that. Or if it's something that doesn't even have a link, it's something you build, then I'll have a link to the original article about it. But this was a very easy kit to build. My only concern with that antenna at all is that the coil is a little exposed, and I find that I am kind of hitting the magnetic wire around the coil a bit. I think I'll do something to protect that, and may even reach out to KM4ACK and see what he's done maybe in the past to kind of do that. I do bash around my gear quite a lot, especially doing SOTA stuff. They get crammed in my pack and all kinds of stuff happens. But this was wonderful. Actually, on 40 meters, a lot of locals, North Carolina and South Carolina are usually not easy to get here. Pennsylvania and Florida, really nice. Into Ohio, Missouri, and got Georgia, which is adjoining, and then really did quite well here. I think N6PE was California. In my head, I think this is the problem, and I hope I'm not the only person that does this. In my head, I was expecting like a 1. And so that's what I was writing, even though I was hearing the 6. It didn't even sound right when I sent it. But that's what I did. And code's kind of funny that way. I'll often mess up if someone has like HSH as the suffix in their call sign. Even though I can usually send an H and an S fine, when I have those in a row, they're hard for me to send, especially if it's like something like 5 HSH. And there's someone who has a call sign that I've put in here before that's either something like 5 HSH or 5 SHS. I can't remember, but their call sign ought to be used on sending tests because it's a tough one to do. But yeah, no, I'm very pleased, and I love this Argonaut V. It's a keeper for me. Such a basic radio. It has a lot of the things I like about the. I don't know if you're familiar with the Ten-Tec Scout and Cub, which had band modules that you would put in. So it was a single band radio that you put in a module and it would change the band. And there are a lot of those floating around. I love the simplicity of that radio. It's just really simple and just really worked really well. Ten-Tec performance is fantastic. Of course, anytime you buy a radio like this that's been off the market, this has been off the market probably at least 11 or 12 years. When you do that, there's always the chance that something could break inside and that part may be unobtainium. I'm hoping that actually having the display it has and everything, that maybe it wouldn't be too hard to replace this stuff out if I had to. But I expect it to last a really long time, actually. There are Ten-Tec, like Omni Ds and Cs that have been around for ages and continue to work. These digital displays, I think, tend to have really good longevity. As long as you don't do something stupid with the radio, it should work. But I'm very pleased with this. I'm glad I got it. I have no idea if I got a good deal or not on the radio, but I'm very pleased with it and plan to use it. You'll see it out in the field for sure, but I'll probably actually spend more time with it at the house and just using it at the QTH to hunt parks and to listen to shortwave broadcast stations. In fact, I've got a little bit of time here. Maybe I can do that and show you sort of what it sounds like. Let's move the band to, let's start here and move the mode to AM. See if we can hear WWV.
At the tone, 18 hours, 18 minutes, coordinated universal time.
That's how you change the bandwidth. Very simple. If you want to lock.
Solar indices for November 9th follow. Solar flux 92 and estimated planetary day index 6. The estimated planetary K index of 1800 UTC on November 10th was 1. No space weather storms were observed for the past 24 hours. No space weather storms are predicted for the next 24 hours.
I've been to WWV in Colorado and got a tour. That place is amazing. The folks who work there are just fantastic people too. Ham radio operators, shortwave radio listeners. But WWV has kind of been ever present. It's really one of the first stations I probably heard on my dad's shortwave radio. And I'm sure here, let's see if I tune down. Brother Stare. Brother Stare, this is WRMI. Even though he's long gone, he's still on the air. I guess he had prepaid for a lot of programming. This time of day, I don't know what's on 31 meters. This is not usually when I'm here cruising this band. I gotta be careful that there's not something copywritten on here that'll kick me off of YouTube. If there's regular music. If there's regular music. This is one of my favorite frequencies right here, 9420. If you ever watch, well, if you ever read any of my posts on the SWLing post, I'll often use 9420 on my radios when I'm taking photos of them. It's the voice of Greece, and I love their music.
He wants to be reassured.
Let's see here. I think too. Whoops, what am I doing? This is what I wanted to do. Let's change this mode to AM. Let's move this down. See what we can hear here.
The video shows a man standing with his hand in the air, being punched in the face. All of the apartment homes in the Denver Kalamazoo area. They offer several Kalamazoo service area neighborhoods with home homes.
Oh wow, I'm hearing.
Driving up, you experience one of.
Oh no, this is amazing. So this is the Mount Mitchell AM information transmitter. I mean, this is just like a handful of watts, and I'm hearing it really well here. This is not very close by, to be honest. You hear the birds they have in the background, but this is where I was last week. Some people are passing by, so I'll be kind of quiet.
The cool climate preserves a rare alpine forest that more resembles Canada than North Carolina. Welcome to Canada down south, y'all. There's all sorts of plants and animals that are unusual to find in the south.
Hello. No, I'm an amateur radio operator, and I'm doing I'm making contacts with people around the world and that sort of thing. And I'm doing Morse. That's the reason I've got the antenna up there, and I was doing Morse code. Yeah, not what you typically see at a park.
The restaurant is currently closed for renovations and will not be open this year. You'll just have to come back in 2022 for some of the best apple pie on earth. From the restaurant parking lot.
Okay, I'm back here. Sorry, a couple came by and they talked to me a little bit, and I just cut that out so they weren't on the video. But yeah, this is the information transmitter from Mount Mitchell, like I said, and that's just fascinating that I'm hearing it so nice and clear here, like we're there.
The campground has 9 primitive tent sites.
So at nighttime, I've actually used this on the AM band and listened to 740, which is CFZM in Toronto, which is a really fun little station to listen to. And they're hard for me to hear all the time because there's a station in Oklahoma that kind of overtakes it in the evening. But this is the great thing about these Ten-Tec radios. I think they're just kind of a nice, just overall, just a very pleasant radio with great audio. So yeah. Anyway, I better turn this off. This is becoming a long video, but I think I'm going to go take a hike real quick. There's a nice little loop trail over here, I believe. And I may just go do a quick hike and see what this is all about. Take a few photos and hopefully put those in the description below. Like I said, please check out my field report on qrpeer.com, which you'll find the link to below. It has everything else in it that you need. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them down there. I'll do my best to answer them or to include them. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, and 7 threes.